What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Welcome to the World Sports Podcast. I'm your boy John, along with my homies Eddie and Braxton. How y'all doing today, fellas?
Hey, man, it's been a great week, man. Just want to continue this vibe and keep it going, man.
Yeah, man. I'm super excited for the future, man. We're gonna get to it in a minute. I ain't gonna spoil it.
I got you, man. We're gonna start the show off like we always do each week, man. Monday Night Football reaction. Eagles and Chargers went down to the wire in overtime last night. Jalen Hurts threw a pick that sealed the game for the Chargers, man. What were y'all thoughts on that game last night?
You say he threw a pick. He threw a couple of picks, man. And he actually did something I've never seen before. He threw a pick and then got it back and then fumbled. I've never seen that before. That was that's historic. That's historically you know what? So with the Eagles, we were saying the same thing all year, but they've been finding ways to win. But like lately, they ain't been finding ways to win when it comes down to the close game. So I think it might be time to maybe have some questions. And are they for real? Are they a real threat when it comes to playoffs? I don't think so. Saquon did show up last night finally. Maybe that's something that headed in the right direction. But the Eagles they look really really bad last night. Especially Jalen Hurts. That's probably the worst game I've seen from him in a long time. Things was not going his way, bro. So last night the Chargers came. They played, even though they had a lot of turnovers as well. It was a nice game overall, but Chargers came out with the win, and that made me excited because like everybody know I don't like the Chiefs, and when the Chiefs lose and the Chargers win, that helps us a little bit. Even though we are fighting to secure a playoff spot, but we still are in the wild card as of now. So I feel confident in the Texan position. Eagles need some help.
Yeah, I would definitely say I was definitely shocked by what I saw from the Eagles. I never thought that they would look like that, especially Jalen Hurts. I thought that he would, perform a lot better when he threw the first interception. That one. I mean, that one was just kind of like a bad throw to me. But then when he fumbled it, I was just like, oh my goodness. And then, but late in the game, the way that it ended, people were saying, oh, that's not on Jalen Hurts. But to me, that was a bad decision. Like, he was throwing it in traffic. And those are the type of plays, if you want to win championships and stuff like that, like at the end of games, you got to be able to make them. But at the same time, AJ Brown, I'm not on that play, but he had just tipped the ball up that forced a pick. So like, stuff like that happening, it just can't happen for y'all to win games moving forward.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Chargers. Nobody mentioned them, but that was a big dub for them. Just to secure their playoff spot in the wild card. But just talk about the Eagles, man. Like this looks reminiscent of what we seen from them, a couple years ago when they made it to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs, and then the next year they came out hot. They went like I think 10-0, and then they just fell off it throughout the back end of the season, and it's kind of looking like the same thing with them again this year. So like Jalen Hurts didn't have his best game. Eddie mentioned it. This might be one of the worst games we've seen from him in a long time. But AJ Brown, he in the media posting all these cryptic tweets and stuff, asking for the ball. And albeit he did have 6 catches for 100 yards, but when it was time for him to make plays in the biggest moments, especially on that touchdown pass where he dropped it and he could have easily caught that, and put the Eagles up more than just 3 points, he didn't come up big when they needed him to. And so when in my estimation, when you're looking for things like that, to try to take the lead, and you on Twitter and you making these assessments, calling for the ball and stuff like that, I mean, that's the times you got to come up big, and he just didn't come up big in that moment. So, but it really, for me, and I keep harping on this every time we talk about the Eagles, man, it all starts with that run game, bro. They can't get Saquon going, and so now they just come in one-dimensional. They're trying to prove to everybody that they could pass the ball, and it just ain't been working out for them. So they got to figure some things out. You know what I'm saying? I do think they'll still, win the NFC East because they competing with the Cowboys, and their schedule looks favorable for them in these last couple of games. But man, they got to figure it out before the postseason, or they'll be sitting home in the first round again this year.
Yeah, it's funny how like a couple weeks ago we was like it's not a problem until it's a problem, and now things are starting to unravel. So it'll be interesting to see how they move on with things moving forward.
Yeah, facts. Moving on, man. Y'all boys gonna like this. The Texans get a big time win, 20-10 over the Chiefs in Arrowhead on Sunday Night Football. Man, what was y'all thoughts on that big time win from y'all squad?
Hey man, it's been a long time coming, bro. We ain't won there what the last five games, I believe. So we definitely have some history with the Chiefs. Not good history, but Sunday night that all changed. We finally beat Mahomes and the Chiefs, man. It was just a great sight to see. The Texans, man, that defense is for real, bro. Like, honestly, bro, like this is a historical defense, bro. Like, I ain't hear Sting name all night again until he got another pass deflection. That's great. You'll never want to hear one of your top guys unless it's for interception or stuff like that. So that just shows you how dominant he is. And then on the other side of him, you got Kamar Lassiter, who had a great game, man. Kalen Bullock, Jalen Pitcher coming out there, hit sticking folks. You got Crash Out of Z getting picks, and just that front seven swarming, bro. So just what D'Amico has done in this quick time, just to get that Texan defense back to what we've seen with J.J. Watt and the Jonathan Josephs and the Brian Cushion, bro. It's a great sight to see. And then on the offensive side, CJ came out there and he was willing to nail it. So that's the CJ I know and love, and that's the CJ that we would need going forward to win. So I just want I just want to shout out to the Texans, man. That's 5 straight for us. We're looking good. We're getting hot at the right time, and nobody want to play the Texans in that defense in the playoffs, bro. So it's a great sight to see, bro, and I'm really excited for what we have going ahead for real.
Yeah, I would say this is probably one of the biggest wins of the D'Amico Ryans era, but for the simple fact, not for just what the game meant, because we had playoff games and things of that nature, but it just, as far as like morale of the team, I feel like this literally can catapult them to the places that they want to be moving forward. Keeping Mahomes to like 160 passing yards, like I feel like that was the defense showing that that's their superpower. The Texans, like they can go into any team, any place, any building, and still be able to make stops and not have to worry about it. And if the offense can give them some points, they can win the game, and that's what happened on Sunday night. So like I'm excited for that. And moving forward, I think it's definitely playoff potential with this defense, because like I said, if all it takes is a little bit from the offense, and if they can do that moving forward, then they'll be just fine, be right where they want to be.
Yeah, man, definitely a big time win for y'all. Cause like I said, y'all haven't had the best of luck, going into Arrowhead, over the years. And going into this game, man, I had a feeling that y'all were gonna win that game, just because, man, the Chiefs, they're just not they're not the same team that we used to seeing over the years, and it's kind of crazy how big of a downfall that they've had. Like, I wouldn't say that I expected them to win the Super Bowl this year, but like I didn't expect them to be 6-7 through 13 games either. And it's like the defense can't come up big when they need them no more. Like, we was accustomed to the defense making those big plays to seal those wins. The offense doesn't look good. Travis Kelce, I seen a TikTok of him this morning where they combined like all his miscues that he's had this season, and he just can't catch the ball, bro. Like, Mahomes has so many picks off of tip drills from him not catching the ball on plays where we normally see him come up big. And so, like, I don't know, man. I think that the Chiefs' run is over. I would honestly be surprised if Kelce comes back this year, being that he's 36, he's in the last year's contract, and earlier in the season he said he was going to wait till after the season to make a decision on what he wants to do. And I just think that he's lost his touch. Like, we've seen flashes of that old Kelce this year, but he ain't the same player that he used to be. And so, man, I don't know, man. I think it's over with for the Chiefs. I feel comfortable saying that now at this point in the season that is over with for them. But shout out to y'all, man. That was a big win. Y'all getting hot at the right time. This is exactly when y'all want to get hot. And the Colts, they're dealing with some things that we're gonna talk about later in the show that fall good in y'all favor, man. So shout out to those Texans, man, for sure.
Yeah, one other thing I want to give CJ Stroud some credit. We always give defense credit. I want to give CJ Stroud some credit just off the simple fact of this. I feel like in this game he did not give us any negative plays. I feel like for the most part, if pressure was there, he threw it away. Or if it was a situation where he needed to get the ball out quick, he got it out quick. Or if there was a lot of pressure, he would escape the pocket, throw it deep downfield. Like these are the type of things we want to see from our starting quarterback. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for what it could mean moving forward. And honestly, like it only matters if it continues, So hopefully he can continue that, and I'm sure Eddie believes he can, and I do too. So hopefully he can.
Yes, sir. Shout out to him. Eddie was smiling when you went to go ahead and get that. Shout out to CJ.
Shout out Bryce, man. Shout out for accountability, bro. Accountability.
Yes, sir, man. Let's go down to New Orleans, man, to talk about my team, the Saints, bro. We got a big upset victory over the Bucs in Tampa Bay, man. Tyler Shuck been looking good, bro. But I'm gonna get a floor to y'all. I'm gonna let y'all talk about it first. I know Brax is deep down there in that New Orleans culture down there, and he keeping up with the Saints. So go ahead, bro. Tell me what was your thoughts on that game on Sunday.
Yeah, man, I can't lie. I was impressed by the Saints in this one. Usually they would start the games kind of slow, and they wouldn't kind of pick up the pace early. But I think that kickoff return in the beginning from Mason Tipton, I feel like that kind of sparked everything. And it kind of gave them some juice. And then going into Tampa Bay, it was a muggy game. It was rainy. It was muddy, and like I feel like they kind of they kind of showed that they got some fight in them despite the record. The record's pretty bad, but they still showed up. And I got to give Shuck some credit and some love. I wasn't too high on him. Some of his combine stuff, it didn't look too great. But I will say, he did show me some things in this game. And I'm not going to go ahead and say he the quarterback of the future, but I do think with some development, he could definitely be something moving forward. What about you, Eddie?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. John, I did not watch the game as you probably would suspect, but I did see bits and pieces when I was watching Red Zone. So, but I ain't gonna talk about the game. That's a great win for y'all. I have seen like compilations of show, and I hate to say it, but he's not that bad. He's not that bad, bro. So I give credit when credit's due. Even though y'all know and John know, especially that I'm a rat believer. So he's not terrible, bro. I think he can be enough for y'all to, try to get better or move in the right direction because y'all still not a good team. But he definitely can be a piece, maybe. But I wouldn't because a franchise quarterback, but like he's like the Texans Davis Mills.
All right, bro. Just to start this out, you say you're a right believer, but Shuck has double the wins that Wright had, and Wright started more games than him. If we being honest. Secondly, I think Shuck has looked great. I feel like Brack said with more development, he could turn into a franchise quarterback. And honestly, as a team, I don't feel like we're that far away. Simply from the fact that if you look at a lot of these scores, a lot of these games that we're in, going down to the wire. We just can't never come up with the plays, particularly on offense, to come out with the win. In certain games. And so I don't think we're that far away. I do think we need more pieces on offense, better receivers, even though Divine Vele has shown up the last 2 weeks big in that receiver room on side of Chris Olave. I think, I liked the way Devin Neal played on Sunday. He had a great game. So I think we're there. I think we're young on the offensive side of the ball. One thing that I was really surprised about that I didn't, necessarily know or I didn't know about was the fact that my defense is ranked 12th in the NFL. I didn't know I knew that they were playing good ball, but I didn't know they were playing that great a ball to be ranked in the top 12 defenses in the league. So I just want to send a shout out to Brandon Staley because he's getting the job done on the defensive side of the ball. But I think we're young on the offensive side of the ball. There's still some growing pains. We still got to learn a little bit on how to win games. But as far as being in games, man, we're there. So I don't think that we're that far off. I don't think that we're a playoff team next year. I would say the year after that we should be back in the mix. But I think that the team's only going to grow from experiences like this, being that we're in most of these games. So yeah, I'm proud of the boys, man. That was a big win for us, and yeah, I don't know what's going on in Tampa Bay though, But I'm proud of my Saints though, man, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be important for Kellen Moore to start getting these wins towards the end of the season. Because I mean, if you only walk out of this season with like maybe a couple wins, I mean that ain't more than what Dennis Allen was doing. So I mean, you gotta at least start stacking up a little bit more. So that was a good win.
That's true, but I also feel like Kellen Moore has the safest job in football right now. 'Cause I don't think Gail Benson or Mickey Loomis, they're not gonna move on from not after 1 year anyway. So I feel like he going. I feel like we're gonna be able to win some of these games going down to the wire. Cause I forgot who we got coming up. I think we got the Titans coming up, and I think that's a big game that we should be in the mix for to win. But we're gonna see, man. I'm excited about the future of this team for sure.
What's our record?
3-10, bro. 3-10. Hey, you been there before. You been,
You match up.
you know how fast it could all go down in an instant, my brother. But moving on, bro. Moving on. The Colts, man, they lose Daniel Jones for the year to a torn Achilles. They started up the year off hot, and now they've tailed off towards the latter half of the season, man. How does this affect the rest of their season / postseason if they were to get there?
It kind of sucks, bro. Like just to see, like, the Colts, they was, this the best we've seen the Colts in a minute since Andrew Luck and his time in Indy, bro. So it's like all they done is like going to waste now because now they in position to, go on a bad streak and maybe not even make the playoffs at this point. So it's really sad. And Daniel Jones, he was one of the favorites for MVP. He was in a lot of talk, so that definitely sucks for him. And then Jonathan Taylor, he's having another MVP run, and it's like it's all for nothing at this point because they are not favorites to go to the playoffs and do anything now without Daniel Jones at the quarterback position. And they had Riley Leonard come in. He a rookie. He don't got a lot of experience. He came in and he got hurt. So now you got to go back to Anthony Richardson, and they already know what they got in him, but it's just a bad situation for them right now. So I honestly feel bad, but it does help the Texans, bro. So I'm happy about that, but that's not the way I wanted it to go down.
Yeah, you never want to see somebody get hurt. Even though, like I said, I've said it multiple times on this podcast. People was talking about MVP and this and that. I wasn't on that train, but I don't want to see somebody get hurt, and especially not in that fashion where it's like season ending and things of that nature. So I hate that for them, but selfishly, as a Texans fan, I'm just like, man, this ain't. I don't know how to word this the right way, but it benefits us. So I'm not mad, but I'm mad that it happened to him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was having a good year.
Yeah, it definitely benefits y'all. I would say though, before he came up with that fibula fracture in his leg, he was playing great, and that kind of hindered his mobility as far as moving laterally and being able to run with the ball and things of that nature. And that offense was playing great when he was healthy, and then he's coming up with these injuries, and now he's out for the season with a torn Achilles, and it just sucks because, like I said, they was having their best season since the Andrew Luck days, and now Riley Leonard was the backup. He got hurt. Anthony Richardson on IR with a fractured orbital bone, so he's been on IR for a minute this season. And now, they're in desperation mode. They're working out Phillip Rivers, who ain't been in the game in 5 years, and they're just trying to find a solution to their problem. And I don't know if the Phillip Rivers move is going to go down. I don't expect him to. If it does, I don't expect him to move the needle that much. I think they're just trying to look for some patchwork to kind of help them limp into the playoffs. But I don't see them going far without a starting quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And going into the season, this is why I was hoping that Anthony Richardson would be back if something like this was to go down. Because going into the season, they talked about him, having a good training camp and stuff like that. And Daniel Jones just edged him out as the starter. So I was interested to see if he would come back and be a different player and make those plays and live up to that potential that we all thought he would be. But Look like it's gonna be Phillip Rivers time in Indianapolis real soon.
Man, with the Anthony Richardson situation, I mean, man, what a bust. I'm not gonna lie, like what a bust, bro. Like this dude coming out of college, man, he was supposed to be the guy. You know, I was worried. I was like, oh my God, we got some more competition. And he's just not that, bro. He's just not that. But,
Well, really, they was just banking on potential. Like he didn't really play that much in college. He had one full season of college ball as a starter, and so they really was just banking on his potential, of him becoming that great player. And you know, sometimes when you bank on potential like that, it come back to bite you in the butt. So, man, I don't know, but I don't know. Bryce calling him a bust. I ain't gonna call him a bust just yet because we've seen quarterbacks, you know, that we were high on, such as Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, kind of resurrect their career in other places, and maybe that's what Anthony Richardson needs, before we be able to call him a buzz. But I ain't gonna call him a buzz just yet.
No, I don't think. But he's not a buzz versus the Texans. He always hoop versus us. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the division, but he always played good versus Texans. So besides that, then maybe I can see where Bryce coming from. But I ain't go as far as say he a buzz, bro, because you know. I don't agree with what you just said, John. With Sam Darnold, we looked at them as a great quarterback.
Well, they were top pick. That's what I'm saying. In the league, people looked at them as, you know, being the next thing, and then because they were top picks, I think Sam Darnold was 3, Baker Mayfield was 1, and it didn't pan out. And now, you know, they resurrected their careers into being solid NFL quarterback.
I think the biggest buzz is Josh Rosen, though. Wherever he is.
Oh yeah, well he working in insurance. He working in insurance right now. Yeah, man. Hey, man. Another controversial topic is always controversial with this guy right here, Shedeur Sanders, man, threw for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns. But we're not gonna forget that one interception he had.
It happened, bro. It happened. Bro. It's okay. It's okay.
Against the Titans. But man, he was benched on the game time 2-point conversion. That caused a lot of uproar, man. Was Kevin Stefanski wrong for benching Shedeur on that 2-point try?
Absolutely. You know what he doing, bro. Like Shedeur had his best game so far. You know, I've been like y'all know, I argue every day about Shedeur at work with the OGs, you know, hating on him. He told me that Shedeur wasn't gonna throw for over 300 yards. He came and did it the next game right after he threw. He had 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns in the air and 1 on the ground. And then that was down 31-17, I believe. And Shedeur brought him all the way back. He scored, got the ball back, scored again, and then they take him out when they in position to tie the game. To do a wildcat play. I don't understand. Like and then mind you, the drive before that, Shedeur had the rushing touchdown. So that shows you in the red zone that he can do something with his feet. So that's another reason to leave him on the floor. So in what world do you take out the quarterback that has got you all this, came down, scored the ball multiple times, had a great game, and has all the momentum, and you take him out to do a wildcat trick play? That makes absolutely no sense. And that is like it's nothing that can convince me that Stefanski wants Shedeur to succeed, bro. If he wants to at least put him out there, well, you're not playing for anything, bro. It's no risk, high reward, if anything, bro. And then they playing the Titans playing Cam Ward, and Shedeur outplayed Cam Ward in that game. And you can see it's not fair to Shedeur. The world can see it. John don't see it. He closed his eyes to it, but it's horrible, bro. And Stefanski is a great coach. That's the crazy part. He's a great coach. He won Coach of the Year. So I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but he's just making a bad choice right now. Horrible. He's letting his heart outweigh the vision.
Well, that's the problem, because Shedeur was never the vision. That was never his vision, and that's the reason why he's not out there on these type of moments. It reminded me, you know, in the Super Bowl, not a couple years ago. That was a while ago when the Seahawks was in there and the Patriots was in there, and like they just didn't give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. Now I know Shedeur ain't Marshawn Lynch level, but it just kind of seemed like, you know, there was thoughts after that you know Pete Carroll just didn't want Marshawn Lynch to get the shine, and I feel like in this situation it kind of was like Stefanski didn't want Shedeur to get the shine, even though even though he was the reason why they came back and all of this different stuff. If you just look at the way that things play itself out, it just kind of seems like he doesn't want him to win. Like, I don't think that was ever his plan, and I think he's going to continue to try to prove that that was not the right decision. And I think moving forward, the Cleveland Browns organization definitely got some soul searching to do as far as if they want to keep him around, not because he's a bad coach, but because his motives are not in the right place.
Allow me to go. I don't think that was the right decision, pulling Shedeur out on a 2-point conversion. Like Eddie said, he got you there. He played a hell of a game. 3 touchdowns, 364 yards. That's not something we expected. Shedeur kind of exceeded expectations in that aspect of it. Being a 5th round pick, I don't think that they realized that he was going to throw for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns. But I will say, I don't think that Stefanski is hating on him because he took him out on 2-point conversion. Was it the wrong call? Yes, it was the wrong call. But as far as to say that he hated him, like if he hated him, he wouldn't have played him the whole game. If Dylan Gabriel was his guy, he wouldn't have named Shedeur Sanders the starter for the rest of the season. So I don't feel like he hating on him in any aspect. Was it a dumb call? Yes. Do I feel like if he could go back and change it, would he keep Shedeur in? Yes. But I don't feel like he's hating on him or he don't want him to succeed because he ain't put him in on a 2-point conversion. Like, I mean, that was one play out of all the plays that he made. But looking at it, like he should have put him in because Shedeur got him to that point and he was gonna give him the best chance to win that game. But we've seen coaches do dumb stuff before that jeopardized their team from winning games. So I wouldn't necessarily say that he hates him because he didn't put him in for one play. I mean, but I know like the season's on. I mean, you don't have nothing to play for, and a lot of people are upset because they feel like Shedeur should have been in and this, that, and the third. But we don't know what's going through these coaches' heads when it's crunch time. Maybe he felt like they practiced that throughout the week, and that was the play that that was his best 2-point conversion play in the game plan that week. You never know. So I ain't gonna go as far to say that the man hate him because he just named the man the starter for the rest of the season. Now, if he hated him, he would have went back to Dylan Gabriel as soon as Dylan Gabriel got out of that concussion protocol.
He can't, bro. He can't because of the fans. It's like fans want Shedeur. They got Shedeur. He came out produced. He know as a coach, if he let Dylan Gabriel go back in the game, then his job is gone. Like the organization not allowing that, bro. So I don't think that's even solely on him, bro. That's a whole coaching meeting and the owner probably in there saying so he giving him the call. Shedeur he's a starter. He probably did that. He didn't want to do. He didn't want to sit in the press conference. He come out there the low energy and say, "Yeah, we going out with Shedeur gonna be starting the rest of the year." Like, come on, bro. Like even when Shedeur first game, like you see it, bro. The energy is off of him, Shedeur, bro. And Shedeur now will come out and say because he's trying to be a professional, and he already know all the eyes on him, so he's saying the right things, and he got the coach back. So shout out to Shedeur for handling the situation well, but I know the real. Cam Newton know the real. Stephen A. They see it. John just choose not to see it, but it's cool.
I will say this though. Do we feel like if it was any other quarterback in the league and they made that decision, would we be taking it to heart like we're doing it in this?
No.
Because it wouldn't happen.
No.
Dylan Gabriel was staying in the game.
I ain't gonna say that he's a bad player or this, that, and the third. And I understand that people love his dad, Coach Prime, this and this, but people just go too like they so sentimental about Shedeur. Like he's a professional, he's a grown man playing a professional sport, bro. Like I understand that y'all want him to succeed, but not everything that somebody does to him is wrong. We've seen quarterbacks get taken out of the game all the time, the game on the line in situations like that. Shit, the Saints do it all the time with Taysom Hill.
Do the Browns have Taysom Hill, bro?
Bro, it don't matter because guess what? It's not a guarantee that every time Taysom Hill get in the game that's gonna work. But when it don't work, people don't say, "Oh, they took Drew Brees out. They want Drew Brees to fail because Taysom Hill got in the game and the 2-point conversion didn't work because they put Taysom Hill in the game." No, bro. Like I understand people want Shedeur to succeed, but not everything that happens is trying to sabotage his career, bro. I'm sorry. He's a professional.
This is the only situation, bro. Taysom Hill, he's known
No.
for running the ball and
I
coming
don't
in.
care if you know it or not, bro. If it don't
It's
work,
not the same, bro.
if it don't work, bro. If it don't work, people are not gonna say,
It's not the same, though. Like Browns on Taysom Hill, bro.
oh, they put you breathe out again. They don't
No.
want to see him succeed. They don't want to go.
Taysom Hill is one of one. He our MVP.
Like, come on, bro.
Taysom Hill, that's different, bro.
What
The
you
Browns don't got no Taysom Hill.
Bragg,
They going Wildcat. That's different. They going Wildcat, bro. It's not no.
what you think, Bragg?
You don't throw the ball.
What you think, Bragg?
y'all
No,
are funny,
first of
bro.
all, it wasn't. They wasn't trying to throw the ball out of that
I
wild.
understand. No, he did. Did he
No,
throw the ball? Though?
He
Did
threw it.
Yes, no.
Because that was his last resort. But they were.
Well, that was a part of the play. It's a part of the play, though.
Please. Ooh, I wish Bryce could pull that play up because it was not part of the play. He was running the ball. He ran the ball. He tried to break reverse it, almost lost the ball. And when he was in his last resort, he tried to throw it across the field to the other guy. That's
a fire. It's a fire alert. Trust me, I know, but when stuff go wrong, they call fire.
That
fire.
They go
that next option, bro.
The pass was not part of the play. That was with
Justin, bro.
In his hands to do it. You see, he got a ton of vision to make, and he's a ton of vision is that they trying to mess over Shedeur, but he's not looking at the whole.
Bro, because the play couldn't work.
All right, let Bryce go. Let Bryce go.
Personally, I think I agree somewhat with what John's saying. Like, okay, it's not only on the fact that he just don't want him to win. Because I've seen, if that's the case, other coaches wouldn't do it. My thing is, though, I don't think you should go to it unless you've perfected it. Like,
exactly. I'm not saying that it's a bad, like, he was totally right for taking Shedeur out of the game. But we can't just sit here and sabotage and say this man trying to sabotage his career because he took him out on 2-point conversion.
He did it every time, though, bro. He did it in his first game. He kept taking him out, putting Wildcat in. For what?
Go ahead, Brad.
I feel like maybe in that situation. I mean, I believe they went for two earlier in the game when they didn't have to. And I don't know. I think he took Shedeur out for that possession too as well. So I don't know. Maybe Shedeur just hasn't practiced much 2-point conversion stuff or much goal line stuff. But if so, that shows an even bigger problem that you don't put your quarterback in situations to prepare for things like that. So I mean, either way, I think Stefanski's in the wrong. I do.
How he gonna get better, John, if he's not in the position?
Hey man, maybe they don't practice goal line stuff.
It don't matter. Put him out.
Maybe the Wildcat stuff.
Let him mess up. Let him make the mistakes, bro. That's the only way he gonna get better and grow. Only way, bro. You gotta go through the fire, bro.
Sabotage his career, bro, because he took him out for.
I ain't saying his career is early. This is rookie year. I ain't saying seven.
Well, you over here saying he don't want him to succeed, and
it's clear, bro.
So that's not trying to sabotage his career if he don't want to see him succeed. Is that not the same thing? I'm asking.
I ain't saying career because it's only his first year. Stefanski need to.
But
listen. Stefanski need to go or trade Shedeur, bro.
No, bro. It is his career though at this point because he's a first round
pick of the table, bro. That's all I gotta say, bro.
It is his career though. That's what I'm trying to get through your head. It is his career. If you say he's trying to sabotage because he's a 5th round pick, he ain't gonna have many opportunities past this one if this one don't go right.
Yes, he will, because he's not a horrible quarterback.
Fellas. I will say this, at least. We can wrap it up with this. It goes to show that despite all of that draft stuff that was going on, Shedeur should have never failed that far. Like, we can all agree on that. I mean, it just literally shows the type of game he had. I mean, we're proud of him, and, obviously we want to see more of that, but him falling that far was just ridiculous.
Yes, I agree. But look, man, we're going to wrap this up, man. Take a little break. When we come back, we're going to talk some college football. The CFP bracket has officially been revealed, as well as the Heisman finalists have been revealed as well. We're going to give our takes on that. Don't miss it. Welcome to the World of Sports. We'll be back. All right, y'all. Welcome to the World of Sports podcast, man. It's time for the CFP playoff bracket, man. The bracket has been revealed. We know who's playing who. We about to show y'all, man. So let's take a peek at it, man. So look, this is what we got going on. We got James Madison playing Oregon. We got Alabama playing Oklahoma. We got Tulane playing Ole Miss, and we got Miami playing Texas A&M. And, the teams that got the bye in the first round, Texas Tech, Indiana, Georgia, and Ohio State.
So, guys, tell me what y'all think about this bracket, and who do y'all think is the favorites right now?
Ohio State winning it all.
No, man, no, they're not, bro. And honestly, I don't think there's no clear favorite, honestly, because I feel like any one of these teams, besides most likely Tulane and JMU, could go on a run and win the championship because all these teams are good teams, bro. The only thing that concerns me, I think that Alabama and Oklahoma is going to be another good game. We've seen that go down to the wire in the regular season when they played in Tuscaloosa, and Alabama's offense hasn't looked great, and Oklahoma's offense hasn't looked great throughout the season. So I think that's going to be an under game for sure. The defenses are going to have to come up and play. We seen Oklahoma's offense firsthand when they played LSU just a couple of weeks ago, and LSU was able to hold them and almost beat them until Sayin broke out for that long touchdown pass. I also think that Miami and Texas A&M is going to be a great first round matchup. Texas A&M has not looked great the past couple of weeks. They were down 33 to nothing. Going into halftime against South Carolina, and somehow they found a way to come back and win that game. And then they went to Texas last week or week before last and lost to Arch Manning in the Texas Longhorns. So I think that's gonna be a good game, bro. Miami's defensive front is nice. I think they're gonna get after Marcel Reed a little bit. That's gonna be a great game. But I don't see no clear favorite as of right now in terms of who can win. I kind of like Georgia though. I kind of like Georgia. Like Georgia knows their identity. They're a ground and pound team, and they're gonna play physical defense. So I think when you know your identity like that, it could bode well in your favor. So I'm kind of leaning towards Georgia as the team that I think could win it all this year.
No. Oregon finna blow James Madison out. Tulane finna get whooped by Ole Miss once again. Carson Beck finna show why they let him go from Georgia. And Aggies, they go show John why they are, a top 14.
Top 4 and number 7.
Because they got to do all the conference stuff, and they got their narratives they want to go by.
Makes sense. They could have been in if they don't lose Texas.
Yeah, it happens.
But what happened? Arch showed up, nigga.
Who?
Arch.
Who was that?
Don't you need me to look him up for you and show you the highlights from that game? Because
show me his stats.
I'm glad to do that.
Yeah, horrible stats.
Guess what? And guess what?
Nobody cares about Arch. Nobody cares about Arch. He's not his uncle. He's not his uncle.
How they a top 4
not his uncle
to Texas that lost to
Nobody care about Arch, bro. Dang. I can't say what I want right now. But moving on, Texas A&M and Ohio State will be a great game. I think Georgia and Ohio State will make it though to the semifinals. That's all I'm looking at because I don't think Texas Tech got enough. They look good versus the mid teams like BYU.
BYU, not me. Mid,
bro.
They won 11 games.
Oregon will show Texas Tech what's up, and then they go beat Indiana. I think Georgia gonna lose for sure. I got Ohio State coming out regardless though. That's my pick. My pick all year.
You biased, bro.
I think there's definitely some bias in that because to me, they showed me a lot in that loss to Indiana. I ain't gonna lie. Like I didn't expect them to lose like that. But I mean, hey, it's college football playoffs, so anything can happen. As far as the matchups, I don't think James Madison has a chance against Oregon. I believe Alabama will come out on top against Oklahoma because Oklahoma, they were struggling with us. They were struggling. I mean, if we put some points on the board, we probably would have beat them. So I ain't gonna give them a chance against Alabama. Tulane, Ole Miss, I do think it'll be a better game. Ole Miss will win by like 2 touchdowns though. Still, I think. And only reason I say it'll be closer is because there's no lane this time. So we've never seen what it's gonna look like with Charlie Weiss calling the plays. So, I mean, we don't know what it's gonna look like. So we'll see what that is. In Miami, Texas A&M, I got Texas A&M winning that pretty handedly. I don't believe in Carson Beck. Now to these matchups that will happen based off what I said will happen. Texas A&M versus Ohio State. Whew, it's a toss-up to me. I ain't gonna lie. That's one of them ones. Texas, I will probably give I'll probably give Texas A&M the edge. I ain't gonna lie. I'll probably give Texas A&M the edge, just from what I've seen from Marcel Reed this season.
Yeah.
Georgia, they gonna win against Ole Miss probably. They already beat them in the season. Indiana, Alabama, that's gonna be a good matchup, but I think Indiana will win it. And then Texas Tech versus Oregon, I'm gonna take Oregon in that one. So my winner for it all, I would have to go with John and say Georgia. They look the most complete at this moment.
I just got one question. Eddie talked about Texas Tech not playing nobody, but who has Ohio State played?
You switch if you switch the schedules.
I answer the question. Is a yellow?
I just did, boy.
Who have they played?
Hey,
who have they played?
We're not gonna do this.
Don't talk about switching.
Who have Texas Tech played?
Obviously BYU, but then you want to talk about
where is BYU on this bracket?
Time out.
You see BYU on this bracket anywhere?
Okay, and who is Ohio State's best win? Texas? Do you see
Texas they playing? All right, they're not dissing, bro. This is not the SEC. SEC play the hardest competition. Everybody know that, bro.
I'm not trying to hear that, bro. Texas is out of the playoffs, and they
not cares about Arch Manning, bro. Damn.
Out of the playoffs.
We don't care, bro.
No, I ain't even talking about Arch, bro. I'm not even talking about Arch. I'm talking about Texas as a team. Y'all beat them boys by 7 points. And that's y'all best win. And these boys got 3 losses to Florida, to Ohio State, and to who else? Who was their third loss?
Figure it out.
Florida, Ohio State, and I forgot. Didn't they lose to Georgia?
Yeah, and they lost to Georgia. They got blew out by Georgia, matter of fact. And then they almost lost to Mississippi State if it's not for a late comeback. So then that's y'all best win, bro. But you want to talk about what Texas Tech got? What Ohio State got that you so confident that they're gonna win the championship? We just seen Indiana put that to bed.
First of all, it's hard to beat a team twice, bro. Come on, so let's be
bro. They're not making it past Georgia, bro. Ohio State is not beating Georgia, bro. I'm sorry.
Who is Georgia, bro? They got Stockton, bro.
They're not, and guess what? They winning with Stockton, bro.
That's the defense, bro. That's it.
Man, I ain't trying to hear. They know what they, like Bryce said. They know who they are.
That's fine. You know who they are. They don't know who they is.
You want to put some money out? Put some money out.
Let's do it. We can do it.
If Georgia and Ohio State make it to the
semifinals, we can do that easily. We can do that.
All right.
You do it.
All right.
Hey, the world is watching. The world of sports is watching. So
hey, you know I'm here.
All right.
Well,
good boy.
All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and get that bet locked in. But moving on, man. Heisman finalist has been revealed, man. We got some good names in it. We got Julian Sayin, we got Diego Pavia, we got Fernando Mendoza, we got Jeremiah Love, man. What y'all think about these finalists and who y'all think will be taking home the trophy?
Honestly, I feel like this is one of the weakest classes that we've had in a long time. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, none of these guys stand up off the page and be like, oh, this guy had a miraculous season, like he deserves to win the Heisman. This, that, and third. So I think this is one of the weakest classes. I would love to see Jeremiah Love win it because I feel like, he's the most deserving because their offense revolves around him with Notre Dame. But honestly, I got a feeling that they're going to give it to Mendoza just because of where his team is at this point in the season. And, they feel like it's almost turned into a quarterback award besides a few, people here and there. So I would love to see Jeremiah Love get it, but I think it's going to go to Mendoza. So.
Well, that's definitely one thing we can finally agree on this episode. I love Jeremiah Love, no pun intended. He definitely has showed me a lot this season. I definitely want to see him on the Texans, but we don't have high pick. But that's been my guy all year. Julian Sayin, although he is playing absolutely lights out with Ohio State, I don't think that he is deserving over Jeremiah Love or Mendoza. They trying to push Mendoza as the best quarterback in this draft, which I don't agree with. But like John said, this competition has not been absolutely great this year as far as quarterback play, and so I don't think he's a lot to work with. So I think it's kind of low odds. But Yeah, I got Jeremiah Love, but they probably gonna give it to Mendoza. I would love to see Diego win though. That'd be fire.
Yeah, I feel like based off of true value, I think you can't say Diego Pavia isn't probably one of the top people that should have it. But I do think he's old as dirt and playing college football, so I mean you can't really put too much into that. But I agree with y'all. This class not my favorite, but to me, I will give it to Fernando Mendoza. I think getting that win to end the season, I think that pretty much sealed it for him because. Just off the way that he did it, not only playing good football, but playing good football against one of the top teams, and doing something that they don't do too often. They don't beat Ohio State pretty much, so that's something that is definitely going to be looked at very highly by the committee, and I think he's going to walk away with the trophy. To be honest.
All right, y'all. Time for the best part of the show now with the Black Spotlight. For this week, my Black Spotlight is Jaleel Bethea. That's one of my guys. I've been watching since high school. He went on the scene, YouTube, Cam Wilder. He was on tour, 5-star recruit. Ended up going to Miami out of high school. And things didn't work out well. They didn't play him a lot over there, so he transferred and went to Alabama. He just came back this week. First game had 21 points, man. So I'm happy to see, he back in his groove, back in his element, man. He's a great player. I expect him. He should have been a lottery pick last year, but that wasn't the case, But this year, I expect great things out of him. So happy to see him back on the court and back out there doing this thing, man. So shout out to Jaleel Bethea. Bryce, what you got for me?
Man, this week, man, I got none other than James Harden, man. He reached top 10 in the all-time scoring list, and that's not something to sniff at, man. Or because not a lot of players can reach that. You got to be a certain level of greatness to be able to do that. And so, shout out to James Harden. I'm a Rockets fan, and I've seen many of those points that he put up, man. Electrifying nights in Toyota Center, man. I miss them days, but I got them back now because my team good. So I'm happy about it. But what you got, John?
Man, this week I'm going. And I hate to do this, bro. 2 Texans players in back-to-back weeks. I can't wait to put one of my Saints guys on there. But this week I'm gonna go with Jalen Petrie, man. Just off of the hit that he had on Rasheed Rice alone, that was one of the biggest hits that I've seen in a while. Probably most likely the biggest hit I've seen this year. And I just like the intensity that he plays with. He's a hard-hitting safety. He ain't scared to come down and make a tackle. And I just want to send him a shout out for that, man. You've been all over the internet, all over the networks, and just want to give you a shout out, man, for that hit. So shout out to Jalen Petrie, bro.
Yeah, so we loving that pick over there, man. That's probably your best Black Spotlight pick you ever had, though. Thanks, you have some great picks, bro. Your last 3 picks have been great, John. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Shout out to John.
I never pick another Texans player ever again.
Damn.
It's gonna be more Lassiter for John.
Nah, not at all. But man, we appreciate y'all for sticking around with us. That's all we got for y'all today. Until next week, man, y'all keep it locked here to Welcome to the World of Sports. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, show us some love, man. We're going to keep bringing these episodes to y'all. Until next week, man, we hope that y'all stay blessed, and we'll see y'all then. Keep it locked here on Welcome to the World of Sports. We out.